If you wanted to know what Vampire Survivors and Crypt of the Necrodancer's baby would look like, ReMix is what you would get. Yes, this is Vampire Survivors, the rhythm action game experience, and I've been loving this. I picked it up on release and I've been slowly going through getting better and better at it, unlocking all of the characters and enjoying myself immensely. And so I wanted to do a review, even though I've not quite fully completed the game, to just say I'm loving this, take a look at it, especially as it's very cheap too. In ReMix, you play as one of 6 characters that you can unlock slowly over time to attack various enemies, but crucially, the main goal is to survive the wave of enemies so that you then unlock an upgrade before you get into the next wave. Enemies are plentiful and they get more aggressive slowly over time, and there are various different difficulty levels for each run that you slowly unlock when you complete a previous run. They're longer, they're more aggressive, everyone's got bigger damage that they can cause, and they will start shooting projectiles left, right and centre everywhere for you. And that feels very action roguelike on point, and if you played one of them you'll understand this kind of gameplay loop of survive a wave of enemies, upgrade your character, go again and hope you got more to deal with. But the crucial thing with ReMix is that your character leans into rhythm action elements, and you'll see that there's a beat map that's going up on the top of the screen, and it's slightly different for each character because they all bring their own unique song. But the character will do something different depending on what you're doing on the beat. So some characters will only move on the beat and you decide whether they go up, down, left or right. Some will only attack on the beat, but you can move them freely around the map. And so you must make sure that you're in rhythm and in time so that your attacks go out. Some are a mixture of the two, where actually there's one character that's stuck on a caravan that just goes round in a circle and is always constantly moving, but you can choose on the beat to boost them so that they can get out of the way from big attacks. But you also have to choose which direction your attack is going to go because they're shouting out of a megaphone, for example. And it's all because in this world of ReMix, sound and music has been banned, and so you are trying to blast music back out again to the world to stop enemies coming and taking you away, basically. The beauty of this is that each character feels genuinely unique and different, and their play styles are markedly different, and a lot of thought seems to have gone into making sure that we're still doing a rhythm action game, but they all feel really different, and you have to build differently for each character too. Now, your character is not alone. Between each wave that you survive, and they get longer and harder as you go through, you'll get automatically access to at least one upgrade as you level up your characters, and that will be something like a HP upgrade, a damage upgrade. There's a vampire skill that allows you to take back damage that you've given for HP for yourself. There's luck, there's skill attacks, there's burning damage, speed, all of that kind of stuff. You can lean into all of that and choose what it is that you want to upgrade. But then you get into the coin upgrade shop, and this is where bandmates come into play. You'll notice that it's not just one character alone on this screen, there's loads of others with you. But these bandmates all come with their own unique instrumentation and special skills and attack patterns. Now firstly, these characters come with their own instruments, so they'll add into the unique song for the character. So you might have loads of guitars and have a rockier version of the song that you're playing. You might have gone for all synth, so you'll be a bit more electronica. You might have got some DJ vinyl in there and it's all feeling a little bit hip hop or jazzy. It's entirely up to you how you're building out your band. But more crucial than the audio aspect is that each one comes with its own mechanic. So some of them will increase critical hit rates, some of them will add burning damage, some will go and deal more damage to enemies with more than 70% health, some with less than 30% health. And there's a percentile of the rate of success for their attacks and the special skills that they have. But they are also upgradable. And so in the shop, with the coins that you get from the enemies that you kill, you can then continue to upgrade things like your health, your speed, your attack rate, and all of that. But you're buying these bandmates and adding them to your band. You can have up to 6, but they come at stages 1, 2, 3, and 4. And obviously they'll cost more if you buy more potent characters, but you can buy 2 of the same and merge them together to get the next level up. And so it's up to you with how you build it out and how many bandmates you have, but it pays to try and get them higher up the ranking so that you can have a golden member, which means that they will attack and get their special skill probably 75% of the time, and that becomes really vital as each wave becomes more frantic and aggressive as you're trying to outwit and outrun hordes of enemies coming towards you with loads of projectiles. The other element in all of this is that with the shop there's this feature called investment, and what this does is it means that you spend money to add on additional coins at the end of each wave. And although that might mean that you miss an upgrade potentially sometimes by doing this, it really pays in the later difficulties to invest heavily, because it will give you back maybe 60-80 coins every single round, and the more you invest the more you get paid back every round afterwards. It really helps, because then that starts to unlock special items, such as causes thunder lightning strikes damage potentially 30% of the time, or you'll get more powerful boosts of, instead of it being 50% extra HP, you might get a 200% HP that's really expensive, but now you can afford it. And you can choose to hold items in the shop for the next wave should you want to, and that's quite helpful as well if you're really going for a specific loadout. It's entirely up to you, but it's that flexibility of ReMix with not just your character and the way how that plays, but the bandmate mechanic. There's so much room for play and interpretation and unique dynamics in there. It's fantastic, and that's where the secret sauce of ReMix is, before you then get out and enjoy the rhythm action elements elsewhere in the game. I have to say that I have really enjoyed my time with ReMix. It's moorish and addictive. It's also quite challenging, because if you don't quite get the loadout right for your character, and there's a few in here that I feel are really difficult for me to play compared to others, they aren't built alike, or not built alike in my brain at least. I'm finding some of the characters really challenging to get leveled up to unlock the next difficulties. And the reason why that's key is that there's an overarching story that's taking place about how the world lost its sound and love of music, and it's all been banned, that you only get as you clear different difficulty levels for each of the 6 characters as you go through the game. So it's piecing together bits of the puzzle. As you do that, you also get to talk to the bandmates in a little kind of extra dialogue option outside of the game in the main menus. And as you do that, you get to increase bonds with them, which means that the base stats for the bandmates start to increase too. Also, your main characters that you choose level up, not just inside each run, but overall too. And what this means is that they increase weight of what items they can bring into the game to help them to carry. So they might start off with a weight of 40, and you'll have different items that will increase, say, the length of time your special attack will continue for, or the rate of health recovery, or the amount of time percentage that you can dodge an attack, for example. So it boosts your base stats straight out the box. The more you play with a character, the more XP they gain, even if you lose battles over time. As they level up, their weight limit increases, which means you can then add on more items. The more you talk to your bandmates, their bond increases, and that increases their health and their attack damage rate. So the more you play, the beefier everyone gets, and so you can then start pushing further and further and further into the game. And if you're using that investment mechanic really well, you can start to feel very powerful, and like you aren't trying to survive a game, you can actively then go into battle and start trying to take down everything, because the end boss you don't have to kill, you just have to survive initially, but as you get towards the end game you're going to need to kill it at some point. And so that's where all of it kind of comes towards its final climactic element of it, but you'll be spending plenty of hours working your way there and having a great time in the meantime. The other thing I just want to say as well is the VHS mechanic. I've only just realised you could turn it off, so most of the gameplay footage of this has a VHS filter on it. I didn't mind it, but it did make it slightly visually more difficult to understand what was going on. I prefer it off, but the option's there for you if you do or don't want it. I've been loving this game. Big thumbs up from me. ReMix, and it's only £4.29. Great game. Go grab. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/Higher Plane Network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.